Hi guys, welcome to Wrestling Retrospective. In this video I will be reviewing Extreme Rules 2022. So the night kicked off with the Brawling Brutes defeating Imperium in a good old-fashioned Donnybrook match. I thought this was a decent match, really fun to watch and a good way to start the show. The extreme part of it really came through in this one, with both teams kind of getting time to take on one person of the opposition. I think I enjoyed it more than I thought I was going to. It was probably one of the better matches of the night in my opinion. I'll tell you what match that is later on, but I think this was very close. As you can see, Sheamus is really over at the minute. Not sure about Butch or Ridge Holland, with Ridge Holland kind of being a bit scary still about being safe. But yeah, I hope both teams move on to like better things now. I feel like the feud has definitely had its time. And due to me recording this a bit later on than usual, I know that Rey Mysterio is now the new number 1 contender for the Intercontinental Championship, which I'm hoping he doesn't win. I'm not gonna lie to you, I feel like Walter can really dominate Mysterio. It kind of means taking out a former world champion, stuff like that, which would help just him in general, and once again make the Intercontinental prestigious, which is something that he is doing really well at the minute. As for Imperium, I can definitely see them going towards the tag team championships against the Usos, and it maybe ended up in a Bloodline versus Imperium match in the future, which I would really enjoy as well. But yeah, as for this one, really good start, really good way to start the pay-per-view, and yeah, probably one of the matches of the night. Next up, Ronda Rousey defeated Liv Morgan to become the new SmackDown Women's Champion. And I had hopes going into this one that it would be at least a decent match with the Extreme Rules stipulation. However, I think it must be the chemistry between Liv and Ronda, because this match was not very good in my opinion. I didn't really like it much. Like throughout the match you could see that they were using the weapons, but apart from maybe the baseball bat spot, which looked bad, but we knew we couldn't make full contact, otherwise it would have really injured Liv. The only other contact with weapons was really soft. It wasn't believable as a kind of to make impact enough to take someone out. But yeah, it just I didn't enjoy this one. It was very slow. Ronda was doing her typical talking during matches. I think Liv passing out to finish the match was really good. I think probably the better way to do it, so then she can say that she never got pinned or submitted, she just passed out, and the fact that she had a smile on her face throughout passing out suggests that she might have been through a character change. As I said, due to recording this later, I haven't seen much of that other than her completely obliterating Sonya Deville backstage on SmackDown last week. But yeah, I think a gimmick change will be good for Liv Morgan. I think her title reign has been really lackluster. I'm not looking forward majorly to Ronda Rousey having the championship, but I don't know, maybe they'll build someone up who's a bit better off. I'd like to see Shayna Baszler take on Ronda Rousey for the Women's Championship, or maybe bring in someone else who maybe hasn't had a title shot before and see how they hang with it. As long as they keep Charlotte Flair away from the title picture, if she comes back anytime soon, I'll be very happy, as I do not want to see Charlotte and Rousey go for the title again. But as I said, this match probably the worst match of the night, I would say. The next match very close to following that as well, but yeah, didn't really enjoy it. But I'm not really pleased about Ronda being champion either. Not many positives come out of this one, unfortunately. After that, we had Karrion Kross with Scarlett defeating Drew McIntyre in a strap match. I'm not sure on the kind of brawl to start the match. I'm not a fan of the concept of a strap match. I don't think anyone's ever said, oh, that was a really good strap match. It's just, I don't know, there's just something about it that isn't appealing and doesn't make it very good. As I said, with Kross refusing to put the strap on, it kind of defeats the object and makes him look like he fears putting the strap on and being attached to Drew McIntyre, which shouldn't be the case when it comes to Karrion Kross. And yeah, I don't know, it's I question the booking of Kross. He's not as dominant as he was in NXT. He's better than what he had in his first stint on the main roster with the whole gladiator and the helmet and stuff like that. It's better than that, but it's not as good as his NXT run. So yeah, I'm not really sure where it goes from here. Obviously, I think they're going to continue on with the Drew McIntyre feud anyway, as Drew McIntyre took him out of the Intercontinental #1 contendership match. What this results in, I have no idea. Maybe like a no disqualification match or some kind of other stipulation to keep it going. The finish itself I thought was awful. I thought having Scarlett come in and get involved to help Cross kind of takes away from his character of being a threat. I do feel sorry for Drew, who had like a full kind of pepper spray sprayed into his eyes. Obviously probably wasn't for real, but I can imagine it hurt like fuck. But yeah, I think having Scarlett get involved for Cross just makes him look not majorly weak, but it doesn't make him look great either. He's not, Scarlett didn't get involved in his NXT matches. So yeah, as I said, I'm kind of disappointed with like the presentation of Karrion Kross as a whole, as I was such a big fan of his before. The match itself was okay, but not great. As I said, it was probably the second worst match on the card. I didn't enjoy it much, and I'm really hoping they improve this feud going forward, because I really don't have much investment in this anymore. Following that, we had Bianca Belair retain the Raw Women's Championship against Bayley in a ladder match. I thought it was really good, kind of a different play on it, with Bianca constantly trying to get up the ladder very quickly into the match, which is something you wouldn't normally see a babyface do, but with it being Bianca's first ladder match, it kind of made sense for her to, like, her initial reaction would be to do that. And I hope this feud isn't over either. It doesn't seem to be, as going off Raw and stuff like that. I think Bayley's actually facing Bianca next week on Raw, which should be a good match. I'm just unsure whether it's a title match or not. I was surprised that Bianca Belair retained. I honestly thought they were going to give it Bayley from this point. I thought they set up nicely to have Bayley as a champion. I'm surprised that we didn't see an appearance from Alexa Bliss during the night as a whole, just because of Bray Wyatt's appearance later on. But yeah, I mean, to be fair, it was, as I said, good match. I hope this feud carries on as it seems to be. And yeah, I think that these two could go on to have a really good trilogy of matches maybe, but I do hope that Bayley comes out with the championship in the feud overall. So yeah, really enjoyed this one. Following that, we had Finn Balor defeating Edge in an I Quit match. I thought the match itself went on a little bit long. I think it was okay overall, but the finish itself was really good, which is probably what I'm going to concentrate more on, is the finish, having Beth Phoenix get involved and then have Rhea take her out, give her a concerto to make Edge say I quit. Quite a similar thing to the way they finished off Jey Uso versus Roman Reigns in the I Quit Hell in a Cell match a couple of years ago. But yeah, it makes sense that the only way Edge would quit is if you threatened his family. You know, that makes perfect sense to me. I can see, I don't know, I'm hoping that this doesn't continue afterwards. Edge wasn't on Raw this week, so I'm not very sure whether this continues or not, or anything like that. I'm hoping it doesn't. I feel like the Judgment Day should be moving on to other stuff, especially with War Games coming up, with them being a group. I feel like they could fit nicely into War Games. And it does seem to be that they're going to face AJ Styles and a returning Luke Gallows and Carl Hansen, which I was really happy about, by the way. But yeah, I think what helped this is that kind of the Judgment Day finally got a win on pay-per-view, and it was a big win as well. It was kind of like what felt like the payoff of a feud, but due to the finish, it's probably not. Edge is probably going to come back and take out Balor or Rhea or everyone like that for taking Beth Phoenix out. But yeah, it's kind of like, I don't know how they can make this more not more personal, like what stipulation could make this bigger. The only one I can really think of is if they go inside Hell in a Cell, so that where none of the Judgment Day can get involved, as they like to do. But yeah, I think there's a really creative finish, really enjoyed that. The match itself was okay, but I really don't want this feud to carry on much longer, even though I know it definitely will at some point. And in the main event matches wise, Matt Riddle defeated Seth Rollins in a fight pit with Daniel Cormier as the special guest referee. I thought it was an interesting concept. I missed the fight pit matches in NXT between Ciampa and Thatcher and Riddle and Thatcher, but I have heard good things about it. And I was gotta say, I think it stayed like really good throughout. Even when they were on the balcony parts, it was like kind of made everyone feel like one of them was definitely gonna fall. And when Seth Rollins did fall, at least it was like a safe one. It was, you know, it didn't just go flying off like a Mick Foley would or a Shane McMahon. But yeah, I think they need to keep this match as like a special stipulation. It seems to be Riddle's kind of match, but with us having so many different cage matches like the Elimination Chamber, Hell in a Cell, Steel Cages themselves, I feel like this is kind of just another cage, but I think if they save it for special events and only use it once every very so often, I think it would really work. But yeah, I think the match itself was really good. Both are brilliant throughout. You know, you can see that they both have really good chemistry, to say that they both had like legit heat a couple of years ago. But yeah, I think it was really good. Some precarious moments on top of the cage, as I said, but at least Rollins fell kind of safely, and then Riddle descending off the top, which was really cool. But yeah, I think, as I said, if they keep it as a special attraction, it could be really good. The show in general was really good, apart from the Cross, McIntyre, and Liv and Ronda Rousey matches. I think if they got better chemistry, but given better stipulations, they could have been really good as well. But unfortunately, they weren't. But yeah, so pretty much excluding the SmackDown Women's Championship, show was really good. This match for me was match of the night by far. I said only really the Brawling Brutes and Imperium came close to that. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. And then after the match had finished, they put the sign up for the copyright in the corner. Everyone thought the show was going to go off the air, and all the lights go out, and we saw all the Bray Wyatt characters turn up in person. So like Rambling Rabbit, Huskers the Pig, Mercy the Buzzard, Abby the Witch, and the Fiend. And we saw Bray Wyatt return after, I think it's something like 434 days since he got released, and he's back. I think it's really interesting to see what this is going to be, really. It seems, especially with this promo on SmackDown as well, I feel like this could be anything, really. I've heard a lot of people talk about how it's going to be Bray Wyatt versus himself, and he'll have to face these characters to get past this Uncle Howdy character that interrupted him on SmackDown. But yeah, it's really interesting. Probably one of the better parts of the WWE right now is to see where this goes. There's got a lot of people talking online. And yeah, I can't wait to see it play out. I'm not, as long as it doesn't get ridiculously silly, I think this could be one of the best kind of feuds of 2023 and end of 2022. I can't see him really doing much at Survivor Series as far as like War Games is concerned. I know not every match is going to be War Games. I just can't see him being on the pay-per-view. I think they're going to save his first pay-per-view match for maybe the Royal Rumble, as it seems like there isn't going to be a pay-per-view in December this year, which is good. It means like kind of people can rest over Christmas, stuff like that, which is really good. But yeah, I feel like this is going to be one of the better feuds of 2023. Wherever this goes, you know, it's going to be kind of creatively fantastic with the person involved. I think he has something to do with Game of Thrones, I can't remember his name. Plus Bray Wyatt himself is incredibly creative, and Triple H. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to see where this goes. Absolutely huge moment, huge pop. And as I said, I'm genuinely looking forward to see where this goes next year. So there are my thoughts and opinions on Extreme Rules 2022. Please do a comment down below what your opinions were of the show and what you think Bray Wyatt's going to do once now he's back. Match of the night, Rollins versus Riddle once again for the second time on a WWE pay-per-view. They've stolen the night, in my opinion. But yeah, as usual, I ask you to like, subscribe, put notification bell on, and I will see you in the next video.